Are you plugged into the stream, Joey?
Going. I just got off of it.
Jump back over there.
All right. Oh, no, that's NBC.
No, it looks like it's up. Okay, I'm cutting it.
I'm there now.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to cut it over. Joey, I'm going to hit the record button, and we're going to be off to the
You got an empty card?
Yes, I got an empty card.
All
I
right.
just lost you, I think.
Let's see. Are we still there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Everybody's there. Oh, Joey, we're ready, buddy.
Fire away.
Hey, everybody, I'm Brian.
I'm Joey.
Welcome to episode 96 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so with Joey and I and a special guest talking about gravel bikes, adventure biking, really big dumb rides, bike packing, bike camping, or just playing bikes, Joey. So joining us a little bit later tonight via Zoom is Casey Clark, who spent last weekend in Loudoun County doing an insane, I'll say, ride, or very epic, totaling 284 miles, 25,000 feet of elevation gain in 23 hours. So Casey is a cyclist and an organic farmer who did this ride in an effort to promote and protect the Loudoun County, Virginia's gravel roads with a fundraiser through America's Routes. Plus, we also have some ride reports from the very rainy 1725 that we teased last week, Joey. Didn't quite get to them.
Yes.
Because we were so jam-packed with all that gravel stuff we talked about last week. From Nadine, Larry, and Ted. So I'm pretty excited to hear all of those things since I was not able to make the trip for very unfortunate circumstances. First off, before we get started, Joey, what have we drinking tonight?
We both have a present. It was from Eric, a supporter and a customer.
Eric was our very first Patreon supporter.
It was. He brought this in a few weeks. I'm a very forgetful person.
Mm-hmm.
I need to write it down. This has been in the fridge at work for maybe 3 episodes. Dewclaw Brewing, the Pastry Arky Chocolate Dipped Pretzel.
I'm putting it in front of my camera so people can
It
see it.
is Lakewood Heaven.
What does it say about it? Imagine taking a big bite of your favorite pretzel snack that's been dunked into luxurious chocolate and topped with a sprinkling of salt. Now sip on this. The Patriarchy Chocolate-Dipped Pretzel Imperial Stout brings to the table subtle roasted sweetness, malty chocolate undertones. Undertones, that's a fun word. Smooth, full-bodied mouthfeel, and a light salt bite.
It's delicious.
I think it's good.
It's a limited edition.
There it is
So
again.
get it while you can. Because I'm going to get another 4-pack of it.
Get that lined up.
You know,
Patriarchy.
I've realized, except for like that Oktoberfest and all,
Mm-hmm.
basically if I'm buying beer now, I'm looking for like these 4-packs
Yeah,
and like the bigger cans.
bigger cans.
You know it's going to be a good beer.
Well, this is a 8.5% too. This is like drinking what, like 8 Coors Lights?
I got to make it up my steps. Yeah.
I got to drive
A couple
home.
PBRs.
I'm only having one of these.
You
And
can
I'm
sleep in
having
my
it
guest room.
in a fancy glass too. Oh no, it's bubbling. No, it's good.
That's like
God,
my
it was
toilet the
close.
other day. Just to the brim.
So
Anyway.
I have a little bit of tour news. I'm pretty excited about because I thought, 2020 was just a total bust for me, and no tours, nothing going on, and I didn't know what 2021 was going to hold. But I got the email at the end of the week I had 4 tour offerings for adventure cycling, and that'll always pick up and add some more to it. A new weekend getaway trips. There are 4 days. I'm going to get to do that twice, and then Davos, the cemetery that's right up there towards the Boston area,
No,
I
thank
think, on the Great Allegheny. So I'm excited about that. Some sad news, though. I've always supported Empire State Ride.
Yes.
And done that every year for quite a few years.
So did Wes for like a couple days.
He did for 2 whole days. So that's a much different animal. So 7 days, 550 some odd miles, 350 people as a travel and road show. That's much different than doing a breast cancer run
Yeah.
on one day.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly what's happening with
Yep.
that. But it is what it is. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I won't. I'd love to do it. I've really come to know and love a lot of those people. You build personal relationships with something that's kind of emotional like that, and I will miss it, no doubt. I toyed with the idea of actually riding it, but I don't know. I got my Zwift up and running, Joey.
Did you?
Yes,
Sorry,
I did.
I don't know if that was someone vibrated.
It's my watch.
No.
It's my watch. So I'm excited about that. I'm back indoors, although I rode outside today.
You did.
Really?
It was kind of on purpose, so it's okay. It'd be different if it was on accident.
What have you been up to, Joey? I'm gonna let you give you an opportunity. to
I'm
ramble.
it's the same old, same old. Kind of. As everyone saw on social media, I was reminiscing about my old to the point where I got my other Sequoia fully tip-top shape. I know I said before I brought it back, but ended up having to retape took the wheels apart, had to retape new tubeless. They were on there for like a year. The tape was folding in, tires weren't holding there. So I said, screw it. I did all the little things I should have done the first time, and then I put some 38 Pathfinders on there, and got it rolling. And it looks beautiful.
Day-to-day working to get a house ready to go to sale. So I just been
You selling your house?
no another
Oh.
one.
I'll say I just logged in and saw. That's why I saw it was.
Yeah,
It was up there.
So I saw that you posted a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it looks like our internet is
It's a little laggy.
butt dumb.
I just told Jess to get off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's always helpful. Stop watching West Wing, Jess. She can't hear
We
me.
have an unlimited phone plan.
Well, I don't know. It says our bit rate is low and it makes it jumpy, but we're going to solve this too. If everybody's noticed, I'm not using the ghost camera this week. I've got a new camera, so we should be both a lot clearer this week. And then I think next week we're going to try to figure out a way to bypass the Wi-Fi and plug directly into the
Ethernet.
router, which should actually help a whole lot too. So we're working on it, guys.
We
gals.
put a table by the fireplace where the router is.
Why don't we do that?
Got a bearskin rug. No, I would never do that.
Why wouldn't you do that?
A bearskin rug?
No, not
No.
a bearskin rug, but why don't we go in there and have like a
Well, I'm
fireside
saying
chat?
we'll do that. Oh, that'd be official.
No, why are we sitting here in the kitchen when we could have been sitting by the fireplace doing a chat?
It just
Joey,
hit me.
let's do it.
Well, if you weren't setting up the whole time, I don't think people realize how much Brian sets up for this. It's insane. You got to give him props. If you're going to vote for anyone today, vote for Brian.
It's I do it because it's so much gravel love in my heart. That's why
Is
I
it?
do it. Yeah, that's why I do it. That's why I'm on it. So
I do want to say really quick, I electrocuted myself in my parts washer.
nice.
Yeah. So not bike. Well, it is bike related. I was cleaning Brad's bike and I had the chain in there. Went to flip the switch off and just got the whole I can't move my arm. So that thing might be done. That's the one I bought off Amazon and I was raving about. Even though I used to have a really nice one.
I got rid of that parts washer, didn't
No, I mean, I'm used to having the big one I had at the old shop.
I had a really big one that you didn't want.
Well, I wanted an ultrasonic.
You could have bathed in the parts washer that I had.
I wanted ultrasonic, not a.
You could have just
That was like a
took
Harbor Freight one.
the bike and put it in.
Oh,
You wouldn't even have to
jeez.
take anything off of it. You could just put the bike in it and lifted it out.
So
That's your call, though.
I did try to play car mechanic yesterday. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but real bad.
No.
I actually do almost everything on my truck. Like I'm mechanically friendly.
Okay.
I don't want to take away from the car mechanics. Simple oil change. Oil filter was stuck. Hard place on the F-150 where the oil filter is.
Okay.
To the point where I popped my shoulder out of socket. I actually got to get this looked at because this is getting bad.
You popped it out of the socket. changing
This
an
hurts
oil
doing my
filter.
arm. Well, it's popped out a few weeks ago. I can't. I feel like I need rotator cuff surgery.
Oh.
My arm's really bad.
I've been
so
having a
it's
hard
sore.
time this year with my shoulders too.
It's bad. I want to see how it feels on gravel, but basic oil filter is stuck. I had to punch a hole through it and pray, and then I used a drill.
You just stick a screwdriver.
Yeah,
through
but
it
I
and-
couldn't. You get a hammer in there, so I drilled and then punched it. I used a Pedro's Pedro screwdriver, which worked.
Did you get all covered with oil?
I
when you were doing it?
I actually wore gloves, like first time ever because I had them for the bike. I did it behind the store,
Uh-huh.
and the first hole it just started ripping it because the first thing is the strap wrench started puncturing a hole in it. I was like, oh no. And then you get that gut feeling when you get the screwdriver through, you're like, oh my God, my nice truck is trashed. And you can't drive it anywhere to get fixed. And then finally I put another hole and I barely got it ruined. My arm popped out of socket again.
Oh my
It's like, oh God. Like I'm laying behind the store, like left for dead, waiting for some hobo to come get me. I'm like, I'm going to stick to working on bikes. This is a simple freaking oil change.
So you were environmentally friendly though. You caught all the oil. You didn't.
Yeah, I
spill
used
it.
cardboard and I laid stuff out.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I just have this picture too in
Just
my mind.
everywhere.
I have this picture of you like coming out from underneath your shirt or underneath the truck, and you're covered in oil, and you pull your shirt off, and you're covered in oil.
Channing Tatum style. Basically, it's just like bikes. If you're leave it up to professionals. No, give it a shot. Just
Anybody in the live stream that can tell us if it's actually working or not. It says we have excellent connection.
we could just got off the Wi-Fi.
I don't know. Maybe it's there. Maybe it's not. I don't see anybody saying anything. So maybe we're good to go.
All right. Let's
so-
keep.
Dirty Kansas
Yeah.
is now Unbound Gravel.
I will get that logo is on point.
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
a good job with that.
Yeah. So their release Lifetime is pleased to announce the new name for its wildly popular Emporia, Kansas-based gravel event, Unbound, all capitalized gravel, will carry on the 15-year history, legacy, and energy of the original event with a new identity, and Garmin will remain as the title sponsor of the event. Now, I got some thoughts on it. I do what I do. I went and read some of the comments that people had left, just looking for different perspectives on all the different various social places. And I saw one that kind of jumped out at me. And it's not that I agree with this, because I don't agree with it, but I understand it. That the name of the event is Unbound when it is an event that's in one place, that's on a route. That's got it's like, how is that being unbound? But I think that's a stretch. I like the idea of the term unbound as it relates to how we ride gravel. I think it personifies sort of the spirit, in my opinion, of what gravel is all about. It's like, do your thing, your way, you be you.
I'll do mine.
Keep it a little weird and have some fun. I think in that perspective. So I kind of think it's cool. And like you said, I think the logo looks really good.
The logo is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They probably have graphic designers and all they pay.
I've reached out to some of the marketing people and have had conversations with them at Lifetime about possibly coming on the podcast to talk a little bit about their plans for 2021 and how the rebranding is gone. I had a very brief conversation in exchange, and I was told to send an email, and I did, and I never heard back. So whether or not we're on their
You
radar.
got further than I have with the kid.
Yeah, still got no news there. Okay, so I got some voicemails. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, electrocuted myself. Almost killed my truck. Set my Sequoia up. So I had good thing I set my Sequoia up in case I had to start riding to work more.
No, I was talking about Unbound.
Oh,
Anything?
I totally lost. That's a quarter of that 8.5% beer.
Yeah.
No,
God, that beer's good.
It's delicious. We'll see how Unbound plays out.
Okay.
Who knows? It was a weird year. A lot of stuff happened. Maybe 2021 will be kind to all of us.
Now I'm hoping that this isn't going to blow everything up when I go to play these.
Probably.
voicemails. I really hope it doesn't, but we're going to give it a shot. And if it does, I don't know. At least it's all going to be recorded on the podcast, so we're good from that perspective. So Nadine left this message, and she actually left a 2-part message. So I'm going to play the first part, and this was the 1725 gravel grinder that was in Loudoun County last Virginia episode.
Ooh, it is for lovers.
Yeah. So here we go.
And George Washington.
I think it's going to play.
Hey there. This is Nadine Hughes calling to report on the Loudoun 1725 gravel grinder that took place just yesterday. It was postponed from way back in June, and I totally forgot all about it, just like all the other events of the year that have been canceled, postponed, or whatever. I wasn't expecting anything to do this year. So it kind of surprised me when I got an email that said, if you do not respond to this email, it will be assumed that you are riding in this event. I'm like, oh my gosh, what event is this? So lo and behold, I had a credit of $55 to go, and I was already, I just had to finish registering for it. So I had credit for $55 to go to the Loudoun 1725 gravel grinder. The more I read about it, the more excited I got. And even if I had to go alone, it was last minute. So I signed up for it.
She's an adventurer, Joey.
And I inquired a few other people if they wanted to go. So I put it out there to a few others. And I had one taker, my friend Amanda, who is always up for a ride, thank goodness. And it was on so I booked a hotel in someplace up there. Where did I go? I went to Wood Springs in Gainesville, booked a hotel for Saturday night. So we drove up Saturday afternoon and we had a nice dinner, met up with Larry Paris because he decided to go. And then Ted jumped on board and Brian jumped on board. And before we knew it, we had 5 people signed up to go.
Right
and I said, how cool is this? So we were very, very excited until all things went south. Kind of, sort of, one thing after another. The biggest thing was the weather. Oh, goodness. I looked at it every hour on the hour and it changed. How can it be possibly sunny and 70 on Saturday and drop 30 degrees and rain by the following morning?
Yep.
Sure enough.
Yep.
That's exactly what it did. So I know Larry, we met up with Larry the night before and had some pizza. And then Ted showed up Sunday morning for the 80. For the 80. Crazy is, crazy does, but they did it. So Amanda and I went back and forth. Okay, we're not riding in the rain. No, we're not. So we're playing these head games. So finally, I said, well, let's just show up and go get our swag bag and our bling and, just let them know that we're here, but we're not going to ride. And then we're in the car putting on our rain gear. Then we're getting the bikes off the rack. And then all of a sudden, we have a leg over the saddle and we're leaving out of the parking lot. We're riding.
That's where she cut out. I'm gonna.
Hey there.
Nope.
It's Nadine.
Gonna
calling.
play part 2, Nadine. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to finish this story. So
There we go.
we're leaving out, and we're on the road, and we keep saying, okay, well, we can turn back anytime. And it's still raining, and it's 44 degrees. So we decided just to cut it short. 2 takeaways from this. One is good rain gear. So since today, day after the ride, I've been on the search for some good rain gear. And I think I found some. And I ordered it today. I found some on eBay without, I paid $100 instead of $300. So I think I'll be happy with that. The other thing is the takeaway is fenders or not fenders. I had fenders. Amanda didn't have fenders. So there's definitely some differences in your washing and your machine with fenders or no fenders. Yeah, definitely will be back. The event was so well organized, and everybody was so helpful. And the Middleburg was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Horse country, the little town was spectacular afterwards. Definitely a weekender. So plan to stay overnight. Do your 80, your 60. Or like we did. We did ride. I'm not going to tell you how far. We did cut it short. But we did ride, and we did experience it, and we are very, very glad we did. So we will definitely be back. End of story.
Hey, that's awesome. What do you use rain gear from a rain gear perspective? I'm a Showers Pass guy. That's always been my go-to. I love the way they cut the pants and they fold in and they're tight,
I don't ride in the rain. I mean, I don't.
At work. That's
I
what
got
works for me.
Showers Pass, I got Patagonia, and I have Gore-Tex.
Okay.
And I actually wash everything the same way with Nick Wax 2-part treatment. And I feel like, as far as waterproofing, it's all the same.
Okay.
It's amazing. Actually, my my
You
H2No jacket.
You wash your rain gear?
Yeah, don't you?
Just kind of hose it off.
Do you not know how rain gear works with pores and waterproofing and everything?
Yeah, but that's why I just hose it off.
That's not how it works.
I hose it off. This is a whole.
Do you know
other
how?
story for the whole other pod. That's a rabbit trail.
No.
We're going to go to our rabbit
That's not a
trail.
rabbit hole. It's going to take 5 seconds. All right. So my Patagonia jacket has H2O on it. I have a Gore-Tex jacket.
Okay.
Both their versions of waterproofing, even though Gore-Tex is like the king. Gore-Tex doesn't breathe. My Patagonia jacket breathes a lot better, but they have pores in them for that material.
Okay.
And your oil on your skin fills up those pores over time. So instead of beating water, it absorbs water.
Okay. Say hi, Jess.
So what Nick Wax makes a 2-part system, and what it does is it pulls stuff out of the pores and then it fills it back in with a waterproofing. So the other day in our torrential downpours, my jacket soaked up water. I'm gonna wash it because it's been like a year,
and then it'll return.
It's amazing. My Gore-Tex will do the same thing.
Okay. I'm gonna call.
Everyone should do that.
I'm gonna call timeout.
Yeah.
we're gonna deep dive on that in a future episode because
I'll go deep. I washed my Rafa jacket.
We'll go deep in that.
I have a lot of clothes. I just realized that.
Yeah, no, that's why Jess just walked by. When all I hear, she goes, all I hear is this. Larry had dropped us an email, or voicemail too. So let's play that. If I can get that to open up.
You should see me wash my underwear and that stuff.
Gosh, just kidding.
Hey guys, this is Larry. I thought I would call and give you an update on the Loudon 725 gravel grinder. We rode it on Sunday, myself and Ted. It was 80 miles and some wet, mucky, rolly hills. Still a great ride, very well organized. Had a great time. Enjoyed every bit of it. It was just a fun ride. So anyhow, just thought I'd let you guys know that. Thought I would give you a little update.
That's awesome.
Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.
Nice. Thanks, Larry.
Those pictures were amazing.
They're really good. I think, was it Ted posted them, and Larry and Ted were together, and Ted had on his big giant poofy jacket.
Kind of emotional.
Yeah.
Just looking at him like
this is kind of cool. So, and I missed going, but and last but not least, good old Theodore left us a voicemail as well. Let's see what he has to say.
Evening, boys. Wanted to give you the wrap up
Sound quality.
on the Loudon
Ted,
1725 gravel grinder we got a chance to do over the weekend.
I'm going to pause.
It was
Ted sent me a message. He's like, I tried your voicemail thing, but here's an MP3 that I recorded in the shop.
definitely an event that was made a lot harder by the weather. It was 40s throughout the day. I think it dipped 240 at one point. And the rain started about 20 minutes before the start, which I think probably kept a lot of people at home that didn't ride in cold rain, also known as people that were smarter than us. Definitely felt pretty lightly attended, I think, because of that. Larry and I hooked up at the start, and we rode together the whole 80 miles. The course itself was just fantastic, really, really scenic. It was a good mix of really some nice smooth gravel sections, some pavement, some chunkier sections with some ruts and potholes. And then once the rain really set in late morning, some of the areas got pretty slick with mud and kind of soupy. The elevation was a lot more rolling than unpaved. So instead of feeling like a hammer to the face, it was more of a wave where you'd have a climb and then a little bit of a reprieve. Hands definitely got pretty chilly. So that was definitely a factor. Feet were doing pretty okay. I used some toe warmers, but we'll get to that in a minute. Didn't cramp at all this time around. I was super diligent about hydration and nutrition. I don't want to say that it felt easy, but I think unpaved kind of recalibrated what my idea of hard was. First 40 went through pretty quickly. I had a flat at 30. I cased a pothole that I got a little too jubilant about jumping over and cased my rear and flatted, but was able to use a Dynaplug to seal the hole that caused, and sealant did the work there. We ran into Nadine and Amanda at the 40-mile aid station. We chatted for a little bit. They are smarter than we are, so they decided that they were going to bag their ride and head back and get some lunch and some beer. Rain stopped not too long after that, around noon, and that gave us a chance to warm up a little bit, a couple good climbs, put some heat back into us. But at mile 43, I saw a sign for a river ford, and that the road was not appropriate for motorized vehicles, which, usually when you're on a bike, that just means, a low spot in the road, and it's usually not an issue. But sure enough, we came around a corner, and there was a river crossing with no bridge. I should have known that going out on a ride with Larry, I was going to end up almost waist deep in water. And sure enough, I used the Redmer method, which involves pointing myself at the obstacle and pedaling as hard as I can. And got a little over halfway across, but the bottom was silty and the water got real deep. And so I standing in 40-degree temperatures in a cold river above my knees.
Should have grabbed the trout.
Which was right about the time that the guy called down from the other side of the hill, letting us know that the right side was a lot shallower. Some information I really could have used a few seconds earlier.
Okay,
but,
so I'm gonna pause. That's how Larry. That's why Larry is so smart. Because Larry said, "Oh no, go ahead, Ted. Go ahead first. Go that way. Let me see what happens."
Older and wiser.
Yeah.
let Larry cross. I think he barely got his toes damp.
Yep. See.
So always survey the crossing before you just plow through it. And then after that, I didn't really feel my lower body for the rest of the day. They was just soaked and cold, so I had brick legs for the rest of it. The second half, though, really there were some smooth, fast sections that kind of helped us tick some miles off. Larry started to fatigue a little bit, but he was just still plowing along mile after mile.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of fast paved sections near the end, and we were joking that they wouldn't possibly put a big climb at the end, and that was right as we started a 7% climb at mile 77 of 80, which went on for what felt like about a mile and a half. We rode across the line together. Great ride overall. Larry's a great riding buddy. He did have his front went flat at about mile 70. But I think it either just got burped or he hit a rough section, put a little bit of air in that, and that brought the tire right back up. Elevation was advertised at 4,900. My Wahoo said 7,300. Larry said about the same.
That's a
I
big
felt
dip.
somewhere in between. Definitely a good bit of climb, but it was spread out enough it wasn't a big issue. The plan had been for us to all get together at the end and have dinner, but Nadine and Amanda, again, smarter than us, I decided to head home, and Larry had a long drive, and I think the both of us just kind of wanted to be warm, and so we all split up and headed home. EX2 was the organizer. I've actually done 2 of their events in the past, and they always do a fantastic job. They did no contact check-in. All the riders were distributed across a 15-minute departure window, and it was a single rider start, so that kind of spread out the field. And they did a really good job given all the 2020 considerations. Appreciate the invite, Brian. It's a shame you weren't able to make it, but we definitely all those roads are public. So if you guys ever want to put together a ride together down in that area, I'm absolutely ready to go back. It was a beautiful, beautiful time. All right, guys, enjoy it. Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Ted.
You're saying yes
was
to
awesome.
that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Nadine. Thanks, Larry, and thanks, Ted, for actually sending us reports. And I apologize for not getting to them last week, but I think they tie in well with our next guest here in just a minute.
Better say sorry.
Yeah. Hey, how fast can you do Strava Club?
All right, Strava Club. So fast, I'm the first person, and we're done. All right, Sandy Navarro from Kirkland, Washington, with 135. Trina Perkins.
Trina Perkins.
Yeah,
She's a friend of mine.
from Florida, 188 from Florida. Mark Hagan from Washington, D.C. with 135 miles. To break into the top 100 this week, you need 106 miles. Total up to 673 from 6. Holy cow, that's a big jump.
Did you see that? I was waiting for that to catch you.
Strava.com/club/gravel-travel-dirt.
Bam, you did that fast, dude.
I
Legit.
included it.
Awesome.
I learned how to read.
Yeah, a 33. You should always read fast because you did that so well.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Stepping it up. 33 new people in the Strava Club this last week.
What do you think that's from?
I have no idea, but I don't care about it. Doesn't matter.
I logged on the Strava the first time in 2 weeks tonight.
I'm hitting the button. Joining us now, Casey Clark. Casey is from Virginia, and he's going to give us all the inside info on this Loudon Rambler madness he did. Welcome, Casey. Casey, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yep. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. I reached out to Casey on Facebook and asked him if he would like to join us. And it's great to have you here tonight, Casey. Before we get started, Casey, give us a little bit of information about who you are.
I'm not sure what you need to know, but I live locally, and well, not local to you, but you were talking about the Loudon Gravel 1725. I live in Middleburg, so these are my home roads. They're incredible roads to live on for gravel riding, and I just enjoy riding them and like spreading the word, so to speak.
Cool. What's your cycling background, Casey?
I started racing mountain bikes in the early 90s. I grew up in New Jersey. Really enjoyed doing that and did that all through college. Took a break as an adult as I moved around a bit. Got back into mountain biking up in Connecticut and moved into gravel from there when I met another gravel rider.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the next question. My follow-up to that was,
yeah,
what kind of brought you to the world of gravel?
Well, yeah, mountain biking up in Connecticut. A buddy of mine I would ride with that we actually formed a cycling club together called the Velo Pigs,
Cool.
which we've grown down here quite a bit. but John Funk is his name, and he introduced me to a race called the Rasputitsa.
Oh yeah.
So I've done that quite a few times, John, up in Vermont. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool.
And-
I've heard
yeah.
about that ride. Who is it that I've heard that has talked about that before? Joey? I can't
I brought it
remember.
up early days because
Did you?
it was
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's an incredible ride. It's done in what they call mud season up in Vermont. So it's in April. You know, you're riding through mud, snow, gravel. It's incredible.
A ride like that, fenders or no fenders?
I don't ride with fenders on a ride like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would either. I did fenders thing for a while, but they would just get gummed up, and
Exactly.
It seemed to be more. It seemed to create a layer of complexity with regards to equipment that didn't necessarily need to be there. You know, you're going to get dirty. Get used to it. You're going to get muddy. Get used to it. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. So this ride, the Loudon Rambler, where did the idea for this epic adventure solo ride come from?
So I was signed up for quite a few gravel races this year and was excited to be doing some competition on the gravel bikes. And, you know, one after another, like dominoes, they were being canceled left and right.
Yep.
So I was just out on a big gravel loop that I do around here. I was thinking of what can I do to challenge myself if I'm not racing. And I thought to myself, how many miles of gravel are there in Loudoun County? I'm fortunate enough to be friendly with Daniel Nadler and Doug Graham of America's Roots.
Okay.
So while on that road, I called up Doug and asked him how many miles of gravel there were in Loudoun County, and he said about 250. So by the end of that ride, I decided I think I could ride all those in a day.
Wow.
And then I called Doug again and said, can we turn this into something? And that's where the idea for the fundraiser came from.
And now, when was that? When was that? Like back in the spring, or was it more in the summer, or?
Probably early June, I think.
Okay.
And I chose October because of the temperature mainly, as I
Sure.
didn't want to be doing it in 90-degree heat with 90% humidity.
Sure, no doubt. And now you introduced the idea of America Routes. So this is a fundraiser that in a way benefited America Routes. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so they are a group of, there's a few journalists, some historians, and a few other various people with interesting skills. And they've recognized how unique to the United States the gravel roads of Loudoun County are. They date back to the 1700s. They're some of the first roads in the country. And, you know, through whatever circumstance, they're still here. They haven't been paved over.
Okay.
So they're a group that is working to preserve them and get them listed on the National Historic Register. So their work now is to document the roads as they are, and then to hopefully get them listed on the National Historic Register.
That's awesome. Now,
And the Loudon 1725 ride
so now
also benefits it.
that America Routes, so that's not just focused on, or is it just focused on what's going on in Loudoun County, or is that sort of a bigger picture kind of a thing?
Currently, it's Loudoun County. It's protecting the roads of Loudoun County.
Okay. And not
It's a great website if you were to check them out. Put some videos on there and some history of the area.
I clicked on it earlier today when I was doing a little bit of my homework, and the press release that they put out about this and about your event and what you were doing. So it was a fundraiser that benefited them. How much money were you actually able to put together? How much were you able to raise?
I think right now we're at just above. I don't know the exact number, but it's hovering around 7,000. I'm not sure if it's just above or just below.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that's all from the cycling community, and various friends of the cycling community. So everybody really stepped up. So we really appreciate it.
That is awesome. Now, can people, so one of the nice things about an event like this is that it lives on beyond that weekend effort, those 23 hours, because you have the lead up time.
Yeah.
Can people still donate to that effort?
Yeah, the donation link is still live. You can
Cool.
hop on the website. The direct link is if you check out events, and there's a little article about the ride itself, and a
Okay.
link down below there.
I will.
Spend some time at the site. There's an Emmy-winning film on there from the photographer Doug Graham that helped document this ride. He's documented some incredible photographs and videos of the roads.
Nice.
Anybody that's on the East Coast, check that film out, and I'm sure you'll be booking hotels to come out here and ride gravel.
Well, that's it. I mean, it seems iconic, honestly. You always hear people talk about Loudoun County and gravel, Loudoun County and gravel. I know, Joey, you've talked about it. You put together that thing that was
I did a couple rides out there.
that WBR fundraiser that you did out there with Bicycle Outfitters. In fact, in the little pre-show when we were all kind of like talking to each other, realized that Casey, you actually did the ride.
I remember, especially the second one
that Joey put on. So
yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I did the second one.
When I first moved to the area.
Yeah, I did the first one.
The second one was a bigger hit than the first. I didn't even get to ride the second one.
Really?
But
because I remember we rode together for a part of the first one.
I think we rode the whole first one together.
Did we?
Yep.
I can't remember. Jerry was with us, so
how much of an impression I make.
So the thing came together. The idea planted back in June, and so it you chose October. That's a short fuse, in my opinion, to plan something like what you did from a perspective of training for those logistics to kind of like all the pieces to line up. Joey's got COVID, so don't worry about him.
That's rude.
Did you ever reach an oh no moment like we really got to get it together here?
Well, I hate to sound anticlimactic.
Okay.
Planning went. I basically said, "Oh, let's do this," and then about a week ahead of time, decided, I better get something done.
Okay.
So I sat down with Doug. We put a quick route together. I shouldn't say a quick route together, but we went through all the gravel roads and got them onto a route that I could load into my computer. And then basically trying to beg my wife, she would drive out and deliver a meal to me here and there. And then the cycling asked how they could help. And the time somebody came out, just said, "Bring water."
I think we lost you a little bit there. Joey, get on that landline, buddy. Get on that Ethernet cable for next week so we can solve this. It doesn't. I think I already know what the answer to this is going to be. Was there any training? I mean, it sounds like you just were doing your ride and then this idea is there, and then all of a sudden, so it doesn't sound like there was really a training effort required, or was there?
No, I like to ride my bike. So this year, and I think just riding for enjoyment. That's really where it came from. I did gear my bike down. I went from a 50 tooth up front to a 34 tooth for this ride, because I want to make sure that towards the end of the ride, I wasn't gonna just be able to not turn the pedals.
Yeah.
So I did adapt my equipment a little bit. But
so what was the bike?
I was just riding with.
Sorry.
What was the bike? It was a Salsa Cutthroat, 2019 Salsa.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us a little bit about the bike, and it sounds like you just changed some of the gearing, and but how did it perform for you? Did it do the job? Obviously, it did. But
It's an incredible bike. It performed really well. I know Joey's been talking about his Sequoia. My wife has the same Sequoia you have. I've seen photos of it, and we've taken this Cutthroat and the Sequoia overseas for bike packing trips, and they both perform flawlessly. So I went with the Cutthroat for this trip because I can ride long and comfortable. Typically, I ride gravel single speed around here. So for this ride, I made sure I used gears. Yeah,
I think I saw where you posted something where you did the 1725, and you did that single speed, right?
I did the 80-mile single speed.
Yeah. Oh God, Joey, killing me over here. Joey and I couldn't have enough gears. I'd like to have like somebody running behind me pushing.
Oh,
me.
You got to.
My wife has been single speed, but we've only ridden Loudoun once with it.
She did good though, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys did
she's crazy though.
40 miles or something like that, didn't you?
Yeah, we were just breaking the bike in.
Yeah. And she has which one does she have? The
Salsa
it's that gold bike.
Storm Chaser.
Yep. Storm Chaser. Cool. So what's your single speed, Casey?
I have a Gunner Hyper X. Yeah, it's a steel. I think it initially was built designed for a cyclocross, but I use it as my gravel bike. It's my primary gravel bike.
Okay, so tell us about ride day. So I obviously think you've got a route and you've got a sort of a plan for the day. Yep. And there's no adventure if everything goes according to plan. So it had to go kilter some way. How did the day actually come off? What time did you start? Walk us through the day if you can.
So I had intended to start about 6 a.m. And I think the biggest success of the day was the fact that I actually started right about 6 a.m.
Nice.
I was fortunate enough to John Funk, who was the man I mentioned to you that got me into gravel riding up in Connecticut. He actually started with me in the dark, and we rode for the first 60 miles.
Nice.
Pretty uneventful. I think knowing the roads would kind of helped out with that because we knew where we were going at that point. Yeah, so and then he handed me off, and I met some other friends. They rode with me for another 50 or 60 miles and met some more friends, and we kept riding together. I mean, it was just for the daylight hours, it was essentially a rolling party. You know, I was riding with somebody for almost all the daylight hours. I was really lucky. Yeah. And none of that was planned. It was just people, we shared a live track, and people said, hey, we'll go out and join them, and joined up with me. And they were able to track me down and ride with me.
What was the weather like for your day?
Saturday morning when we started, it was quite cold, and it didn't get really comfortable until it actually warmed up 4 or 5 o'clock at night. It was and that evening it was fairly warm, and it was okay the next. But I was wearing some Pearly Zumi gear that was given to me for the event. It was incredible stuff. I had never used it before, and I was very comfortable throughout the night. So,
Yeah, you may have just heard us talking about
held off. Then
weather gear, so I was curious about that too.
I'm sorry.
You may have just heard us talking about some Larry and Ted.
Yeah. So I used. Sorry, you've broken up again.
Yep, sorry about that. Had great weather gear. That sounds like was like an important piece of the effort.
And that made all the difference. I had, like I said, I had a frame bag on me, so in there I had change of gloves and change of caps, because my hands and head would sweat, and that would chill you. So I knew to rotate through those so that I wouldn't get chilled to the point that I couldn't get warm again. But I rode into the night with 2 friends, met me, and then left me at about midnight. And then from midnight till I think 8 the next. Well, my wife came out, brought me some food with a friend, Brandon Jones, at about 3:30, and again at 4:30. Some Funk surprised me with some coffee. But my riding throughout the night was solo, and so solo riding through the night. Which I actually enjoy. I like the quiet, and got to listen to some podcasts and things like that.
Nice.
Next morning, light came, I think mile 220 when it got light. No, probably more than that, maybe 250. But the last 40 or so miles were probably the toughest, just because I was ready to be off. And because I do live in the area, I know some of the shortcuts home. So every time I rode near one of those, it was like, no, people are watching you. It's pretty tempting here and there. You know, you're within to go. That was the toughest bit, but it was fun. I was really glad to have done it.
So
and it did start raining the last hour of it.
So I was going to ask, one of the questions I have written down to ask was what the worst part, but it sounds like you just explained that nighttime sounds like it would may have, or maybe not. You know, you're solo, like you said, you're kind of plugged into something in your ears, and what was the worst part?
Yeah, the nighttime was great. It was the next day once it was light, and your brain's kind of said, okay, you've been riding through the night, it's daylight now, you're done. Your brain's telling you to take a rest, you're done. And then riding past turns that I knew would lead me home in much less time than the route that I had planned. So just the mental games of telling myself, okay, no, he's pushing through and doing that. The last 40 miles, just telling yourself to keep going.
Did you have like a marked, like, this is where I'm going to start and this is where I'm going to stop from a route perspective, or was it with regards to where?
I'm very lucky. I live on one of the gravel roads. Okay. So I started and finished at my home.
Oh, nice. So that's a lot of motivation to get to the end. The end is there, it's home, and you're done, and you're just probably crawl into bed. I don't know. Do you obviously shower off, and then do you sleep for like 2 days, or what do you do?
I kind of took the tactic of when you fly internationally and to beat jet lag. So I got home, I showered with a cup of tea in the shower. And then I took a little nap, but tried to keep myself awake till that next evening so that I could sleep through that night.
So in the recovery, what did the recovery look like?
My Whoop score the next day was a 14. the day after that was a 91%. So I recovered fairly well. I felt drained, but the muscles felt okay. My eyes felt dry and just from being open for so long, I guess. But overall, the recovery was pretty good. Yeah. I did lose a scent. I couldn't taste salt for the next day, which was strange.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard that before.
Yeah.
Now, is this the first time you've done a big effort like this, or you've probably done this before, if I had to guess, or something similar at least, maybe not to this extent.
You guessed wrong. My previous longest effort was the Croatan 150, which I think was 145 miles.
Yeah, it's like a $144 is what it comes out of. Okay.
Yeah, it was my previous longest effort.
Wow, and that basically doubled that. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So here's the big question.
And there was no elevation. There's no elevation
at Croatan.
There's no elevation at Croatan.
It's like you do that buck 44, and it's like 600 feet maybe by the time you're done, and it's just inconsequential and Garmin GPS error mostly for elevation. Here's the big question. I think everybody wants to know the answer to. Plans for a repeat? You going to do it again?
No. I mean, I'll do I would like to. I'll do the distance again, or somebody else wanted to do it and want company to do it again. But for myself, I wouldn't do it again. I've got some ideas as to how to do something else with America's Roots to bring more awareness to the roads. That maybe we'll talk to Danielle and Doug about how we can do that. That would involve other people. But I think there's some excitement to it, and we'd like to help other people experience that and maybe bring some more.
Keep us plugged in on that. If there's any way we can help over here from the podcast perspective, we got a little bit of an audience, so we'd absolutely love to be a part of that effort.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be really. So Joey, I know you've been sort of watching the live stream. Do any of our folks out there have questions for Casey, or have you seen anything? I don't know.
No.
I can't actually monitor the live stream. My computer is so dragged.
Theodore just said, "Is it just me, or does Casey look like a Matt Hawkins with a shaved head?"
Yep. Do you know Matt, Casey?
Yeah, he did the buck.
Supply.
Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal member. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. That art. You know what the Arsenal thing is down at Ridge Supply? Yeah. That's cool. Good job. That sounds like, man, congratulations from us over here on that effort. Just ridiculous, and for a good cause, because I've often wondered, myself, how have those roads over there in Loudoun County stayed the way they are, and how long is it going to be that they're going to be that way? I've often just kind of wondered, how in the world has it actually persevered the march of progression of asphalt. And so it's a great effort, and for a great cause. Congratulations, Casey, from us to you. Tip of the hat.
Thank you. Thank you. And if anybody cares to, please support the effort. Check out americasroots.com and look for the donation link.
Yep, I will put a direct.
Come out and ride the Loudoun roads.
I will put a direct link to the donation page. Hey, every week we do a little thing, a little bit silly. Sometimes they're related to bikes, sometimes they're not. You want to stick around for them and participate?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
Sure.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do. Joey, I am going to throw out a this or that. Casey, I'm going to ask you to answer first, and our only rule is that if you feel please explain yourself. Joey, I'm going to ask you to come in next, just as usual, because I know you don't like change, and then I will back clean up. Sound good? Everybody? Okay.
Sure thing.
First item on this or that. 284 miles in the saddle or a colonoscopy gone wrong?
That's the 284.
The 284. Joey.
I'm going 284.
Depending on how it goes wrong.
I was actually waiting for somebody to ask, because everybody always asks for clarification. It's like,
nope,
okay,
not clarifying that one.
how does colonoscopy go wrong? That's too deep, Doc. I would love to think that at some point I could do 284 miles in a saddle, but I'm not 100% sure.
Saddle time, a good good pair of bibs and a good saddle. It's
Yeah.
my legs will never have that.
Casey, did you change bibs? I know you were.
I did.
Okay.
I changed the bibs. I used lots of chamois cream in order to prevent chafing, and then I changed the bibs once. I changed the bibs about 18 hours into it. I changed bibs.
Second item: would you rather have all dogs try to attack you when they see you, or all birds try to attack you when they see you? This is a little inside baseball, Casey, but so I think either one of them's better than the other. What would you prefer?
They're bigger.
Dogs are bigger.
Yeah.
Joey?
I was actually attacked by a dog on my bike when I was younger, like pretty severely. So thanks.
Okay. Because I also know you're deathly afraid of birds.
Legitimately, I had a dog attack when I was young on a bike, which scarred me, literally and figuratively. But I hate birds.
I know you've got to think.
I love dogs. I feel like with the right attitude, I might be like, "Hey there, little fella."
Yeah.
But not bird. I'm scared birdless of birds. I'm afraid of ospreys.
He's got a weird phobia that ospreys are going to come down swooping and attack him and carry the ginger away.
Not care. I just want to be.
They got big talons. I would probably go. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit with you. I think I was watching some birds today, and they peck at stuff and they rip it around, and they've got that really sharp beak. And I was thinking about this when I was today. I would probably
Not all. I mean, there's dogs you're not going to talk down.
I was doing a solo kind of bike packing tour in South Carolina, and I had a Rottweiler chase me, and it was one of those lumbering, and he watched me, and it wasn't until I was past him that he actually moved, and he kind of comes out on the road, and he actually grabbed a hold of one of my rear bags and held on to it, and I kind of had to, obviously at that point, slow down, and then some lady came out from a house a couple of doors down and started yelling at him. I don't remember what it was, but he stopped and he went away. But it scared me to death.
Did I show you the video? I was out in the cornfield when I was in Kansas.
Mm-mm.
It was a pre-ride just after the gear ride.
Mm-hmm.
And
For DK?
I rode past a road that there was a sign that said, I thought it was for cars. I rode down it. Turns out the house had dog problems. I got chased, long walk out of a cornfield with multiple like ponds in it. I thought it was that was horrible.
The other I did.
But I hate birds.
I did say try to attack you. I was just thinking if they just tried to chase you, they could be coming at you just to provide some loving to you. But I did say attack, so that makes it different. Third item. We're going to keep moving, Joey. Third item: live without the internet or live without modern air conditioning and heating. Casey.
I'm an organic farmer that used to work as a Peace Corps volunteer in Africa, so I can do both. So, what's your choice?
So actually, it sounds like maybe you would just choose both. I just don't need either one of them. Joey, where are you at?
I suppose I keep the internet.
Okay.
I'd go without I'm fine without the internet.
Yeah.
There's been recently I won't even turn on anything. Won't turn the internet on. I'll just put some music on and sit on my couch.
Yeah, but how do you get your?
Well,
sorry about that. You could.
I'd rather. I could go internetless.
Yeah.
I read books.
I didn't watch Social Dilemma, but I knew everybody was talking about it, and I did do a thing where I turned my phone off, where the only notifications I really get, anything that's related to money, like when I get PayPal notifications and Patreon notifications, and I get texts and phone calls. Beyond that, none of the Facebook pings, no Instagram pings. I only go and check those things when I want to check those things, which is why I was telling you today. You blew up Instagram all day today.
Oh, well, I never got the
idea.
Notifications because I turned them all off. I don't have them on.
Yeah. So, but I knew that you put stuff up. I didn't even know you put stuff up. I think internet, I make my living off of it. So it would be kind of tough, but I also make my living comfortably in air conditioning. So I think I would have to go without air conditioning or heating. I could do the whole wood stove thing, and
I basically live without heat in the winter. My wife is savage.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
50, low 50.
Just answered that, but there we go. Casey, would you rather time travel? And this is for you too, Joey. Would you rather randomly time travel plus or minus 20 years every time you fart, or every time you sneeze? So you fart, you time travel. You sneeze, you teleport to someplace.
Can that?
That's the answer. Because, yes, made up answers. Yes, good to go.
Wow. Just buy a can of beans. There you go. Yeah, like the fart and teleport.
Joey.
Fartaport.
Well, obviously, if you teleport, you've got to have to find a way to get home.
Oh, I don't want to do that. I picked the other one.
You would time travel.
Why not? I could probably win a lot of money that way and gamble. Have you seen Back to the Future?
I also know how good your memory
Is
is.
it 2 or 3?
No,
My memory's horrible.
You've got a fantastic memory for movies.
Oh, yeah.
You could write movies before somebody
Oh.
else did if you went back in time. I like that idea. You would just literally get lost in time, though. I really like Casey's answer of a
I
fartaport.
won't want to be a random redhead showing up in different parts of time.
Yeah. I mean, who knows where you're going to end up? Because if you kept going back...
Maybe
if you
I
kept
am
going-
I am currently a time traveler.
Oh, shit. You got me to say a bad word, Joey.
Oh, you ever thought about that?
Or no, I did think about that. I would definitely do the fartaport. I love Casey's.
Look at the
Domination.
Simpsons. They're time travelers. The writers. What are their names?
Oh, I know. There's so much stuff. What
Yeah.
have they had anything to say? We don't talk
Oh.
politics, so we're gonna let it go. Who knows what's going on over there? Hey, Casey, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming
sir.
on the podcast tonight.
Thank
It's
you.
been a lot of fun. I know that I reached out and I was like, maybe he'll come on, and it was so cool when you sent me a message right back and said,
Brian
"Absolutely."
usually gets shut down pretty quick.
Yeah, I do. I get shut down a lot by people going, nah, I'm not doing that. So we very much appreciate it.
Well, I know. Thanks for having me on. Please check out America's Roots and donate if you can to help save Loud and Gravel. If you want to come ride Loud and Gravel, check out the Velo Pigs. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram. We are a no-drop beer and bicycle social club focusing
hell
on
yeah.
gravel based out of Leesburg. We'd love to have you guys come out. Check us out. And, thanks for having me on.
Casey, send me some links for all that stuff, and I'll make sure to get them in the show notes, in the show description, because I'm all about what that sounded like right there with a no-drop Velo Pigs, beer, and bike kind of thing. That sounds like my kind of game, my kind of bike game. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, anything else, Joey, before we shut it down?
Shut her down.
Shut her down. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. It's a listener-supported podcast by some amazing, incredible people on Patreon and PayPal. Our show can be found wherever you find your favorite podcast. Joey, how can folks get in touch with us?